Leader, be aware. It's a jungle out there. By Miebeth, Bustillo-Booth. My organization is in the middle of a significant two-part problem: addressing a budget shortfall under strained economic conditions and changing a culture of conflict avoidance, the latter being more challenging of the two for having contributed to the first. The college wants to build capacity for change and understanding. This week, managers attended a training session. The facilitator, a college executive, provided a four-part framework for distinguishing leadership styles. He asked the participants to identify and organize in small groups as lions, authoritative, dolphins, collaborative, owls, analytical, and eagles, visionary. We discussed characteristics, superpowers, and pet peeves, then shared them with the larger group. The lions said that they were of the decisive and getting things done variety, while the dolphins prioritized collaboration and involvement. The owls led by facts over emotions to make decisions, while the eagles saw how the puzzle pieces fit in an envisioned future. The lions got frustrated by the slow pace of progress, the dolphins by lack of input, the owls by emotion based decisions, and the eagles for analysis paralysis and for lack of resources to realize the big picture. There was resonance and laughter in the air as we recognize how the strengths of our leadership styles complement and conflict. The facilitator reminded us that everyone is a leader, where each style has a role to play, and to be mindful of the value of working together. As we continued our discussion, one of the participants noted that she pivots to a different style depending on the need. She was not alone in this sentiment. As I sat with the eagles, I felt the owl, the dolphin, and the lion stir in me. As a leader with ideas about the role of education and training in adapting to a rapidly changing world, I rely on data to inform decisions. I seek the perspective and engagement of others to design and deliver evidence-based learning solutions. I use the authority of my position to align the work with goals and apply what influence I have to animate a desired future. As I activate these parts of me, the work feels increasingly challenging. I find myself pausing to learn and to educate. Today's complex problems live within an ecosystem of known and unknown variables, where values collide, truths are relative, and this equilibrium evokes fierce resistance to change. There's no simple and orderly path to clear intents, shared beliefs, and unified actions. What is the role of leadership in our times? In his book, Leadership Without Easy Answers, Roland E. Heifetz says, instead of looking for saviors, we should be calling for leadership that will challenge us to face problems for which there are no simple, painless solutions, problems that require us to learn new ways. He adds that organizations fail to adapt because they may misperceive the nature of the problem, do not have the capacity to deal with what's before them, or avoid the necessary work to address the problem because it is too distressing. Heifetz argues that the leadership required in our complicated world is less technical, where there are known solutions to known problems, and more about adaptation, the work of changing attitudes, behaviors, and values. The adaptive work takes longer and is messier. I can hear the lions roar in frustration at the slow pace of change, while the dolphins swim in circles as their pod grows and more inputs dilute intentions. The owls spin their heads as facts fail to enlighten and move the crowd, while the eagles grow tired from dodging political arrows aimed at their vision and their wings. As I look across the room of my fellow leaders, I sense a significant challenge before us loom heavily in the air. Anxiety is growing among the ranks. Today's leadership style will need to be nimble and adaptive. Sticking to one type will likely put the leader in danger. Heifetz says, severe distress can make people cruel. Empathy, compassion, and flexibility of mind are sacrificed to the desperate desire for order. It is unfair, of course, but pain never feels fair, does it? Leaders will need to respect the pain people bear As we ask them to leave their comfort zone, we will need to give the adaptive work at a pace they can handle. They will need space to grieve their loss. As leaders, we must be courageous and caring as the flock explores, makes mistakes, and learns to be in a new and unfamiliar world. After the training, I reflected more on the exercise and thought of other animals that could help guide the way. The wolf for how it learns from its pack, the fox for its resourcefulness, the elephant for its wisdom and intelligence, and the octopus for how it senses and adapts to the environment. And there's the mother bear, who boldly stands in the wild, prepares her cubs for an unpredictable world, lets them wander to learn how to survive and thrive, and is near to protect them from harm. Heifetz acknowledges that leaders are often exposed to dangers. He offers 7 practical suggestions. 1. Get on the balcony to gain perspective. 2. Separate the self from the role. 3. Externalize the conflict. 4. Lean in on partners. 5. Listen for inner signals as a means for self-examination. 6. Find a sanctuary to rejuvenate. And 7. Preserve your purpose. Today's leaders must practice and model being a learner, to be curious, agile, and humble. They must also be educators, creating experiences for new attitudes, behaviors, and values to take shape. All the while, they need to mind the numbers, seek broad input, and use authority when called for. It will require boldness and compassion as they give the adaptive work to the people who must learn new ways. It will require tapping several animals as guides. The work is complex, uncertain, and sometimes dangerous. Leader, be aware. It's a jungle out there, and it is full of new life.